Tonight, 300,000 people in West Virginia are being told to stay away from their tap water, not to use it for anything, cooking, bathing, washing, anything at all. A chemical spill in the Elk River may have contaminated the drinking water.
For safety, we would just ask that everyone please do not use any tap water.
Warning tonight for those who are pregnant, you should not be drinking the water.
Nor the chemical began leaking from a hole in a storage tank in the facility behind me. The Department of Environmental Protection is still trying to figure out how that hole got there and exactly how much of the material has leaked out. Some reports have said as much as 5,000 gallons has leaked into the water.
They did not report this to us, and I have no idea of when or if they reported it to anyone else.
It just makes you wonder, how long have we really been drinking this water and bathing in it anyway?
Authorities say 7,500 gallons of a toxic chemical used to process coal leaked into the Elk River on Thursday from Freedom Industries, a company just upstream from a water treatment plant. The toxic spill poisoning the water that serves 300,000 people.
The source of the problem that's closed restaurants and schools is 4-methylcyclohexane methanol, a chemical that's used in coal processing.
Boiling water, not be able to drink it, but not even put it on your body. It's outrageous.
The seventh night in a row, more than 100,000 people still can't drink their tap water.
Oh, I thought it tasted fine.
I was live on the air when the governor's first tweet went out basically announcing that this had happened.
So I was over at the Capitol, and I remember coming back and smelling something in the air, but not really thinking anything of it. I think that, at that point, no one had any clue.
It quickly became clear this was not a boil water advisory. This was something much more serious.
We just knew that there was a leak at Freedom, and that residents weren't supposed to use water at all.
But what we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us, and we see it when we realize it when it's gone.
I think that anytime you have media affected directly by what they're reporting, it adds a sense of immediacy and urgency to their job and the way they go about doing their job.
After the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with.
This was not handled well, in my opinion, at multiple levels. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact we were in uncharted territory. Some of it, I think, of our own making, some of it not. This was a chemical that we knew about and had been a part of the coal industry and the cleaning process for a number of years, but had not been studied very extensively. So we didn't have a lot of information from the scientific community to start with to know, what are the effects? What are the potential hazards? What should we be telling people? And not just as media, but what should the Department of Public Health be telling people? What should the water company be telling people? And so there was a scrambling at the beginning to just gather information to share.
Well, in Charleston, I got a sense of uneasiness, to begin with, because most people understood that it was going to be a while before this really had any sort of conclusion.
Right. Well, what the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it.
Seeing the infrastructure come into place basically for emergency water rationing was interesting, not only because no one was prepared for it, but also trying to fathom what it was like to be completely cut off, to not have an appropriate supply of drinking water, or to only have to be able to shower in a public space every couple of days if you're lucky.
You see how dependent then we have become as a state on our few really clean, productive water sources like the Elk River. So there's a lesson in that, you know, that the less we protect, the more dependent we become on a very, very scarce resource, the more vulnerable then we are to spills like this. The second thing it taught us is that we have to be protective of that water. I mean, we have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here. You know, its real value gets diluted because you've got a tourism sector, you've got a quality of life sector. People's willingness to pay for clean water is huge. You've got a recreational sector, you've got the power industry sector. And then, of course, you have the drinking water sector, and all of these things draw on the value of water. Now, moving into the future, there is no question that the value of water will only go up.